Chris, I was out on the floor the other day in manufacturing. I noticed y'all started using some of the Hercules ring. And Bill, I know that was a ring that you had got a patent on and you designed. How's that going for us?
There's the people who have used this part so far are guys who are building heavy duty and performance units, and they're loving it. We've had several customers that order a dozen at a time because they want to keep them on hand.
I noticed you got set screws, and I noticed you got holes that match. Is this to lock that in? I got two questions, Bill. Does it lock it in, number one? And then number two is, does it come as a kit?
Yes, it comes as a complete kit with the reverse clutch hub, the Hercules ring, and the set screws. And when you put the set screws in, it locks the ring down in place at a preset height, so it holds the snap ring in place and keeps the planet from moving.
So do you torque it, or do you just take it all the way in until it locks?
You could do either one, whatever makes you happy, because the set screws are set to only go down to a predetermined depth. You can't over tighten them.
Gotcha.
And we always recommend with any fastener, put a drop of Loctite on the threads, screw it in, and forget about it.
Hey Chris, you told me that this is an OE refurbished.
It's an OE reverse clutch hub that has been modified to accept the set screws for the Hercules ring. That ring on the top, it keeps the stamp steel reverse clutch hub from flaring out, releasing the stamp ring, planet coming out, in catastrophic failure.
Gotcha.
In HP applications and performance vehicles, diesels, it's a great reassurance.
Now, the reason you designed it is because you're seeing a lot of failures. Does the OE market not have something already similar to the Hercules
No,
ring?
sir.
Or is it just, so I just got a crazy question. Why wouldn't someone out there invented this a long time ago if they noticed the failures were what they were? Does that make sense? Oh,
A lot of people tried to come up with corrections. Some people would try to put the early Planet setups in, but the early Planets from E4ODs were always aluminum housing 4-pinion Planets, whereas a 4R100 is a steel 6-pinion Planet. So if you try to convert it over to cast iron pieces out of an E4OD, you're putting in my estimation, inferior parts that were failing on E4ODs. So you can't put that part in and expect it to hold up in a heavy-duty application.
I got you. And I understand now while you were talking. The holes that are modified in this drum doesn't grab. It's the ring that has a thread that locks it in.
That's
Makes
right.
sense. Gotcha. Okay.
We did that so they can't put it together incorrectly.
Gotcha. So, Bill and Chris, are y'all hearing a lot of noise about the 10 speeds? I'm beginning to hear that you're remanning some at, you're doing rebuilds at Roadmaster. You're having quite a bit.
They're coming.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm being told, I was at a workshop a couple weekends ago, and I was told that there's roughly 28 million of the 10 speeds in the market, and they're still producing them today, right?
Yeah, they're going to be in production for years to come. There is nothing further that they can do with splitting gear ratios for better drivability. So the 10-speed, that's basically going to be it. And I mean, we spend a lot of money at whatever it takes building these, because our game plan is we build to OE spec or better. So when we build these, we're using OE kits, OE clutches, OE filters, OE oil, and the 10 speeds are so hard on valve bodies, it gets a brand new OE valve body. A lot of the 8-speeds are the same way. You get a Dodge 8HP70, it gets a brand new ZF valve body, ZF oil, ZF kit. The only way to build these units properly is to follow that game plan, and this is what Chris and I are doing.
So your ingredients of the three production facilities and manufacturing that y'all have, all ingredients are the same, whether it's a 4-speed, 6-speed, 10-speed?
Yes, we're
And-
making fine-tune adjustments. Chris and I talk multiple times per day. That's the understatement.
Sometimes more than I'd like.
Yeah, I agree.
No, we've got a good relationship.
But the simple thing is we are making fine-tune adjustments to make everything universal straight across the board. So this way it doesn't matter where the unit comes from, it's all built the same way. It's got the same recipe for product, it's got the same recipe for labor and what is done to it.
So the 10R80 is a popular unit, right?
It's getting there.
And the 10R80 can take on some horsepower.
Oh gosh, yes. They can take on quite a bit of horsepower. Ford did a gorgeous job at designing that transmission.
Good, good. So when you dyno them, when you're doing a 10-speed and you dyno a 10-speed, you got to have a little different program to do the 10-speed than you were doing on the 8s and the 6-speeds, or do you have already programmed in the dyno to handle it?
Our dynos, we actually have some of the most state-of-the-art equipment in the industry. Our systems run what's called the Enigma system, which is a code breaker from World War II terminology, and it goes in and on various units that have internal computers, it will go into their computer system, read the internal test program, and run the unit just like it was at that manufacturer. But we have the program capabilities to run the GM 8-speeds, the 10R80s. We are running with absolutely no problems whatsoever, and they dyno beautiful. They really are a nice working unit.
On the 6L80, going back to the 6-speeds, I understand the piece of equipment you put in place, the CNC machine.
Yes, sir.
It's actually doing a wonderful job. It's doing cuts and they're all consistent. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, just like Bill was saying, everything we do, we try to take back to meet or exceed OE specs. We measure the tolerances from the face down to the rotor pocket, and then from the stator mating surface down to the bell housing mating surface to contain all that, to try to keep all your end plays correct in the unit, trying to prevent potential issues for customers. Does a great job for us. We run many of them every day. It's just a great piece.
Good. I didn't mean to get off the topic of the Hercules Ring, but we don't get a chance to sit around and talk often. We all stay very busy, but anything that we can get out to our customers to make things better for them, that's my goal. That's my objections to do whatever we can to make their lives easier. Without the shops outside of these walls, we wouldn't be here. So,
That is
Absolutely.
true.
There's no need for us without the shops.
no, so we're here to help out, and I encourage any shops that have any issues, even if it's not with our product. Bill, you got a heck of a tech team put together, and you being a master builder, and as well as Chris, and the years y'all been in it, anything that we can do to offer that service to our customers, that again, even though they didn't get the part from us, I encourage them to call. When I'm out in the field, I'll tell them, it doesn't matter if you're using, I don't care if it's an OE part, if you're hung up on a problem, don't hesitate to pick the phone up and call. We need to be, whatever it takes is, to me, should be and will be the household name in our industry of taking care of our shops. So, other than that, gentlemen, I've enjoyed our discussion. I would like to, a little later, talk about the 68 RFE. I understand we've got some good things coming down the pipe on that, so
Yes, we do.
I do appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.